friends, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to do a little bit of a sit down chat and have some coffee. That's what I'm having. You guys can get whatever you want, but I definitely encourage you to get like a snack or a drink or something like that so we can just kind of hang out. Obviously I talk to you guys in all of my videos, but sometimes it's nice to sit down and have a little bit more of a casual chat and just kind of check in and talk about like some things that are going on and kind of update you on where the channel is and all of that. So if that sounds interesting to you, if you want to hang out for a little bit, then keep watching. So the first thing that I wanted to kind of talk about is just the state of things right now that's going on my channel. And some of you may be confused because I really haven't been, well, number one, I haven't been posting like my normal type content in quite some time. And right now I'm only usually posting once or twice a week, and it's been mainly Temu hauls. And the reason for that, honestly, is just that I have been giving myself a break. This time of year is always a little bit tough for me. I am not a fan of the winter. I don't know. After Christmas, I just feel like there's such like a letdown and there's just not a whole lot to look forward to. It's a little bit depressing. The weather here is just not cooperative, and I'm not a fan of driving in the snow or the ice or anything like that. So I'm definitely home a lot more than usual, and not necessarily just because I'm choosing to, but because I feel kind of stuck because I don't want to necessarily drive, on bad roads or anything like that. So this is always kind of a hard time of year for me. And this year I honestly have just kind of let myself be, and I have kind of hibernated. So the reason that the only thing I have been posting recently has been the Temu hauls. The reason for that is because number one, like you guys seem to enjoy those. Number two, they're super easy for me and I actually do get excited about them. It's definitely something that I enjoy filming. And yeah, I mean, honestly, it's just, like I said, I've been kind of allowing myself to hibernate. Now, I don't know, I guess depending on which side of the spectrum you're on, if you've been loving the fact that all I've been posting is Temu hauls, that you may be like somewhat disappointed. But obviously that is not sustainable as far as this channel. I will continue posting Temu hauls. I'm not saying that I'm not, going to post Temu hauls, but I just financially, I can't be somebody who posts, 3-4 Temu hauls a week and sustains my entire channel on that. It would be fun, but obviously that's just not realistic. So more content will be added. That brings up another thing though, and I know we've kind of touched on it before. When I first came back to filming, I had been gone for a couple of years. And I, had mentioned that I feel like I'm almost resetting with my life, and that's definitely still the case. And there were some questions on that, like, it's kind of funny, like whenever you say you're doing like a life reset, people, I guess when you don't explain it thoroughly, like people start to read between the lines, and it's funny what some people can come up with. But when I'm talking about doing like a life reset, I'm just at a stage of life where my life is very much changing. And it's not because of anything bad. It's, that's one of the things, like, people always like assume the worst. Like, I had people asking if my husband and I got divorced, or like, and no, it's none of those things. My husband and I are like fantastic. He's my best friend. But I don't know how to like explain. Obviously there's a couple of sides to this. I think the one side to this, which I'm not going to get too deep into this, just because I think if I got into this too deep, this video would be like hours long. But I think I'm at a stage of my life where hormones are changing just because of my age. And it is kind of crazy. I never believed it when people talked about it before, but like when your hormones start to change and you start heading towards menopause, a lot of people say it's like a midlife crisis. I wouldn't say it's a midlife crisis, but it is kind of crazy how it does affect your thinking. You literally can wake up one day and be like, who the heck am I? What the heck am I doing? And you feel like you're a different person. I never believed that. Like I always kind of like, how is that possible? But you guys, I'm telling you, there are days that I wake up and like, I mean, it's almost funny, but it's almost not, because my husband and I have talked about this. Like legit, there are days that I'm like, I wish I could just move away and just start over, because I feel like so many of the things that people associate with me, I feel like that was like my past life and it just isn't carrying over into who I am now. It's very, very strange. And if you've never gone through it, I don't know if you would fully understand it, because I know I didn't. But if you have gone through it, you totally know what I'm talking about. So I feel like there is that part of, like I am at a point where there's like the life reset, just because the mindset has changed, the hormones are changing, and just, life is changing in general physically for me. But then the other part is that, I have been a mom since I was 21 years old. I was a young mom. I was a single mom for a very long time. And I feel like obviously for, a very long time, well, for 21 years, because my oldest son is 21. For 21 years, my life was very, what is the word I'm looking, like it was planned out for me. I mean, I had kids, so I was day-to-day stuff. I was working towards raising men who would be independent and profitable, not profitable, but they would be self-sufficient members of society, productive, and that's the goal as a parent. And I've homeschooled and raised two boys, and obviously I was a single mom for quite some time, and I was working full-time. At times I was working full-time plus another job. So trust me, I know how that is. But then I also was very, very blessed to meet my husband, and he felt it was very important for me to be able to be home with the boys. And so at that point, then I was able to stop working and stay home full-time and homeschool and all of that. But I guess the end of the journey, like the goal has always been, like I said, to raise two men who can, are able to do it on their own. And I'm at a point in my life where my older son, like I said, he's 21. He works full time. He just bought a house. I mean, he's doing great. He is doing exactly what the goal was to be. He is self-sufficient. He is, a productive member of society. So he's already there. My younger son is at a point where he is still at home, obviously, because he's 15, he'll be 16. He has his temps. He's going to be getting his license. He is very independent. He knows what he wants to do. He actually has a job lined up that he will be starting. That's not only will he make money at the job, but it's also kind of like an apprenticeship to get him started with the career that he has chosen. So, I mean, it's like as far as my like life goal, it's kind of starting to wind down, if that makes sense. And I'm at a very strange spot where I'm, every single day, I feel like I'm busy working. But then sometimes I sit down and I question, okay, what am I working towards though at this point? And I don't know. And that's a very, very strange place to be. So I feel like that does reflect in my content some. And so I thank you guys for being patient with me and continuing to be patient with me, because I don't have all the answers, because honestly, I am still trying to figure some of those things out. Like I said before, I am very blessed that my husband, allows me to be able to be home and stay home full time. And, he supports whatever dreams I have, no matter what they are. So I know that I have his, support no matter what I choose to want to do. But the question still remains as far as like, well, what is the next goal for my life? And, so even with YouTube, some of the content that I post, some of it's a trial, honestly, because it's things that maybe I am either interested in and I've never tried before, so I decide to try them. It may be hobbies that I've done before and enjoyed, but haven't been, pursuing recently, so I'm kind of trying them again. But yeah, so deciding what I want to post on YouTube is still kind of up in the air. I think the other thing is too that I'm really learning, because I feel like even my like YouTube career is almost like split into two sections. There was my old YouTube, which obviously I started on this channel, almost all of the videos that I posted before, not all, there are some of the videos that are still public, but most of the videos that I published before, they're now private. So, if you're new to this channel, you may not see some of my older videos and the content that I was putting out. But I feel like at this point in my life, I'm really trying to determine what really, really makes me happy. Whereas I feel like before with YouTube, I would put up, I wanted to make everyone happy. I wanted, if people wanted to see certain kinds of content, then I tried to really put that content up. And, what ends up happening is you start putting up content that you really don't enjoy and you get burnt out on that very, very quickly. So I'm trying not to do that at this point. So if I try something out and I feel like it's not necessarily working, I'm trying to be okay with the fact that that may disappoint some people. But I really need to do what makes me happy, because that's the only thing that's really sustainable with YouTube. If you're constantly putting up stuff that you don't enjoy, it just isn't going to last. And it's going to show in the videos too. I mean, I've watched YouTubers and you can tell that their heart isn't in it, and it affects the videos. It really does. So I just don't want to do that. Plus, honestly, most successful content creators will tell you that you should only post content that you would want to watch. And I look back at some of my old videos and I would never have sat down and watched those videos, even though they got a lot of views. It's not something that I would watch. I think the other thing is too, even if I'm super passionate about something and I love something, doing it in like my real life and doing it on YouTube is two very, very different things. And I'll give you an example, because this is one of those things that I'm still trying to kind of figure out how I want to do this. You guys know that I absolutely love food. I love to cook. I love to bake, even stuff like grocery shopping. I absolutely love doing all of that. But posting it on YouTube is a very different experience. I, in the past, would put up videos that were strictly sharing recipes. And number one, I don't usually watch videos like that. So I was putting up something that I would never watch myself. But then the other thing is, by posting that on YouTube, it really kind of sucked the fun out of it for me. Whenever I cook or bake, I'm huge on music. If I'm not filming, you guys, there's music on. Whether I'm cooking, cleaning, baking, reading, there is always music on. And when I'm filming, I can't do that because of copyright issues, obviously. So for me, when I would film the recipe videos, I couldn't listen to music. You have to worry so much about camera angles and lighting, and is the camera focused? And it turns something that I love doing, which is cooking or baking, and it turns it into something that is completely not fun. So that's one of those things that I want to share food content with you guys, but I haven't quite decided how to do that because I want to share it in a way that it's still enjoyable for me. And I know that like it's been mentioned about, you know, sharing it, like putting recipes in a vlog or something. And I do agree with that to an extent. But again, if I'm actually sharing the recipe, I feel like it's going to be more about the camera angle and all of that. And so I may include some food stuff in vlogs, but it would probably be more of like, you know, you can see me cooking, baking, whatever, with music over top of it. And then I share the recipe like down in the description or something like that. Or maybe I just, you know, am having like a baking day or something and you guys see the finished product or something and I share the recipe. I don't really know because like I said, I love food. I'm passionate about food, but I haven't quite figured out how to do that on YouTube without completely ruining the experience for myself and turning something that's usually relaxing and fun for me into something that's super stressful and I'm not able to be in the moment. I just don't want to do that. So, I don't know. So that's where I'm at. And that's where I'm at with like quite a few things. Another thing that I'm still kind of debating on is, the reading and book thing. I enjoy reading very much. Obviously we've talked about the whole, I'm not going to do like book reviews because I feel like that's like super personal and it's, you know, if I hate a book, that doesn't mean that you're going to hate it too, because we're different people and we've had different life experiences and a book is going to hit every single person that reads it differently. So I'm not big on doing like book reviews. So obviously that is out, but I've also noticed that I don't get excited to talk about books, even though I am excited about what I'm reading, if that makes sense. However, I do get really excited about talking about children's books. So there's that. So I'm not really sure how I'm going to handle that either. And I feel like right now too, I am also going through phases with reading as far as I literally will sit down and read an entire book in one day, and then I'll go 2 weeks without reading a book at all. And I'm just, you know, reading stuff on Pinterest, which I kind of touched on in my reading dilemma video that I had posted. But I feel like with that, you know, with that being the way that I am, you know, doing the whole reading thing right now, it makes it very hard to devote an entire sit down video to talking about books and things. So one of the things here is something that hopefully is going to help solve some of this stuff, because I feel like it would be a lot easier than posting like actual videos, like the book thing, like a whole video dedicated to books or whatever. I have an old Instagram account that honestly, it was like a personal Instagram account. And I know a lot of you who have been with me for a while, you followed me over there. I have not posted over there in years. I have not been consistent. I was consistent for a very, very long time, but then it kind of fizzled out because I was busy doing other things. I started a new Instagram account and I literally just started it. So I think there's only like 4 posts or something like that, but it's an Instagram that's going to be directly linked to this channel. So I feel like that might be an easy way of sharing certain things with you guys. As far as even like, okay, this is the book that I'm reading, and it's easy to show a picture of a book. You know, that's much easier than doing a whole video devoted to like how, you know, books I'm hoping to read or books I did read or whatever. The recipes, that would be an easier way for me to be able to post recipes. Single product reviews. You know, I just got a bunch of the skincare and stuff like that from Temu. Instead of doing a whole video devoted to like a product or something, I may just, you know, post a picture on my Instagram and talk about it. Or if I want to share like a certain food thing, which actually now that I say the food thing, let me show you this. This is what I'm having right now. I'm having coffee, but the creamer that I'm using is the Coffee Mate, the Kellogg's Eggo waffles with maple syrup. And you guys, this is actually really, really good. So if you see that at the store and you're a coffee lover, definitely give it a try. I've only tried it so far hot. I definitely want to try it iced too. But that's one of those things that maybe I would be posting on my Instagram. So I will leave the link to that Instagram down below. So even if you followed me on my old Instagram, I won't be posting there. So make sure you follow the new Instagram. And I don't honestly, because I just started it, I don't think anybody from YouTube is following me at this point. So if that's something that you're interested in, I'll leave the link down below so you can follow me. But yeah, so that's kind of where things are as far as where the channel is. Things will start getting back to like where I'm posting more frequently, and it's not just going to be the Temu hauls. You guys, I haven't even gone to Dollar Tree and done Dollar Tree hauls because I just haven't left the house much. I haven't had the motivation to leave the house much. So, I mean, that is on me, and I truly, I've just kind of been hibernating. But the vlogs and things like that are coming back. I feel like where I live, we can get snow into April, but I also feel like we are finally going to start getting to a time of year where, yes, we're going to have the snow and the yuck and the gloom, but we do have a scattering of days where we do hit, like 50 or 60, and you see the sun, and it kind of gives you a little bit of a boost, and it helps to motivate you. And then, yes, it will go back to, 20 degrees the next week and you get snow. But I feel like those little breaks help so much. So I do feel like there are some projects that I want to work on that I, will be sharing with you guys. And obviously I will continue to kind of trial and error some different things and see, what we can come up with. I do feel like, honestly, a lot of the things that I do probably will be shared in vlogs, just because it's easier to kind of add it to the montage of like what all is going on instead of having devoted videos to specific things. But who knows, you guys? I'm open for anything, and I've noticed that there were things that I was interested in when I was young. Like, I'm talking about when I was like 15, 16, that, as I got a little bit older and I got more career focused, that I kind of put to the side. And then obviously motherhood and all of that. And now I'm almost like, oh, remember that thing that you like really, really loved when you were 15? Oh, maybe now is a good time to like get back into that and try that out now. So I feel like there's so many things that I'm excited about and that I want to do. It's not like I'm one of those people who gets depressed and I'm like, I don't want to do anything. I'm almost the opposite. Like, I feel like I have this blank canvas in front of me, and there's so many things that I want to do that it almost overwhelms me at times, and I feel like paralyzed because I'm like, okay, how can I pick one thing? You know what I mean? There's just so much. So we'll see where things go. I'm excited about it. I'm excited for the weather to improve. That's definitely going to help. But yeah, so hopefully that explains some things. Oh, there's been a few of you that have asked this question, and unfortunately, like, the answer is kind of, I don't know, but I know I've mentioned before that my husband and we would like to move. So a few of you have asked, are you moving? You guys, that is one of those things. If we could do what we wanted to do with no strings attached, had nothing to do with finance, it had nothing to do with like anything, family, nothing. If we could just do what we wanted to do, like, I'm telling you, I would be packing boxes right now. And we even have a place picked out that we want to go. It's like a couple hours from here. Like, so trust me, if it was 100% left up to us, we would be moving tomorrow. But that isn't reality. And I know for a fact that we can't move for at least like 2.5 years. And that's just because of my younger son. Obviously he still has to be able to have contact with his biological father. So I can't move him too far until he's at least 18. So I know for a fact we will not be moving at least for 2.5 years. At that time, we have gone back and forth. Do we want to stay in this house? The truth of the answer, no, we really don't. This house is just not what either of us want. It just doesn't feel like home to us. There's a lot, I guess. I could do a whole video on that. And maybe at some point I will, or maybe I'll just talk about it in some vlogs. At the least, I think that at some point we will at least move from this house and go somewhere else. Whether that's, 20 minutes from here, that may be the case. But deep, deep, deep down inside, we would love to go a few hours away from here. But time will tell. We have no idea. I mean, finances obviously have a lot to do with it, but then at this point, all of our family is here. So, if we left, we'd be leaving all of our family and my husband's job. I mean, not, he'd be able to find a job wherever, I'm sure. But, it's to move a few hours away is, I mean, it's more of a commitment than moving 20 minutes away. So I guess at that point, when we're actually to the point where it would be a possibility, I guess we'll have to reassess it at that point. But yeah, to answer that question, as far as like, are you moving? I don't know. I wish I knew, because that would honestly make things easier on me. Because if I knew we were moving, especially if I knew we were moving a few hours away, I think the way I declutter would be a little bit different. And I think I would look at things a little bit differently. On the flip side of that, if I knew that we were staying here, I would probably be a little bit more open to putting more work and more money into this house, because I would be trying to make it into home. Whereas right now, I don't feel like it's home, and I also don't want to put too much into it. Because why put all sorts of money and your heart and soul into something and then leave it? So, yeah, you guys, honestly, as much as I do as far as moving. I have no idea. I have no idea. So that's where that is. But anyway, this video is long enough. We're almost at half an hour, which hopefully you enjoyed your coffee or your snack or whatever. I haven't even touched. I've had like 2 sips out of mine. So I'm actually going to finish this after I sign off from you guys. But yeah, if you guys have any specific questions, let me know in the comments down below. Maybe we'll do another sit down video and I can answer some of those as much as I can. But yeah, that's kind of the reset that I'm at, is just kind of trying to find my new life purpose. Obviously my younger son is still here, so I'm still a mom, but he is very independent and I know he's going to be successful, and I'm super proud of that and super excited for him. But it is a little bit weird, as for someone who's been a mom. I am 42 years old, so I've been a mom for over 21 years now, which means I have officially been a mom for over half my life. So that's a little weird. To have over half your life has been spent as a mom, and then you come to a point where you're like, oh wow, I'm not going to have to worry about that anymore. So definitely an adjustment. So anyway, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me for a little bit. I love and appreciate each and every one of you guys, and I will see you very soon.